Postmodernism, what is it? I have no idea. I don't think anyone does. I think postmodernism is kind of this breakdown of ideas and breakdown of the modern structures of rationalist scientific thinking. Postmodernism arose in a post-industrial society where we had already had a method of scientific and rational thought developed for a very long time, and we had developed a great society with democracy and capitalism and infrastructure of everything from water and food and housing, where our society had everything that it needed. And postmodernism is this thing that came about in this era of abundance where it seeks to criticize and disassemble those structures, which I think is an ongoing process. We need to always be critical somewhat of society, but we also need to be critical of that criticism, and we need to think about, is my criticism, is my constant breaking apart of the structures of society actually beneficial? Is that going to help anyone? Because it's very easy to criticize things, and this is something that applies to concepts outside of postmodernism, if the shoe fits. But it's very easy to criticize something. It's very easy to say, our government sucks. There's tons of corruption. It's very inefficient and wastes all of our money. There's a ton of inequity in society. I can't get a job. My life is horrible, and it's probably due to the people at the top. And that's all fair. But what are you going to do about it? Can you build a better government? Because personally, I'm trying to affect change in the people around me and create a better society at kind of a bottom grassroots level. But I think it's very much hubris to think that you have the answers for a large top-down change in federal or state level government. I think it's a hyper complex subject that people have wrestled with since the advent of society, and someone who has never been to a political meeting or even a town board probably has no place in that. But the point is, it's very easy to criticize things. It's very hard to build things. I was a carpenter for a while. I can tell you it's hard to build things. It's hard to lay a foundation and build a structure on top of that and furnish the structure with everything, because when you build something, you come up with all of these problems that you did not anticipate having. And it's all these little structural things that crop up out of nowhere that you will never expect to be there until you do it 1,000 times. And so the idea of postmodernism is about criticizing the structures that we have in society. And it is kind of this, it is a dark branch of philosophy, because it is about moving away from the things that made society good in the first place. Because remember, postmodernism only comes about when society is abundant and good. So, if you look at like postmodernist literature, it's very whimsical, it's very ethereal. It's not rooted in crunchy, factual, rational thought. And this is something that's important to have in society, but it's not important to focus on it for too long, because I think that we need to, in this increasingly digital age, seek to touch grass, seek to stay based in facts and reality, and not get in our own heads. Because you can spend all the time in your own headspace as you want, but you will not ultimately benefit when interacting with the real world out there. Postmodernist architecture is architecture that seeks to take the aspects of modern architecture and kind of break it apart and explore it. Maybe you have like a building that's leaning out or something that's like different than it's supposed to be. It's a lot of it is to mess with your perceptions. When you take it to the art world, it's to mess with your perceptions. So there's a genre of music called post-rock, and there's a lot of post-whatever genres. And post-rock is in itself has particular characteristics that are very much its own genre, but the idea of any post-genre is to take the elements of the genre it's based upon. So for rock, that would be guitars, maybe pedal boards for those guitars, drums, bass, keyboard, vocals, to the structure of the song, the kind of a 4/4 rhythm. A lot of times they have like pretty simple chord structures, like 1-5-4-6 chord structures, and kind of all the elements of standard rock music, and then make something completely different with it. A great post-rock band is this band out of Austin, Texas called Explosions in the Sky. They're fantastic. They take all the elements of instrumental rock music and then make something that's very different than rock music. And that's kind of what maybe Godspeed You Black Emperor is a very good example. They've been described as the heavyweight reigning champions of post-rock. They make 22 or 25-minute songs that are just like these soundscapes, and at times they're broken apart and you don't even know what's happening. There's things moving through them. It's a very cool sonic experience. And it comes from rock music and it's changed into something else. So that's kind of the basis of what postmodernism in philosophy and literature and art is. It's taking the foundation of something that's already been created and saying, okay, that is good, or maybe it's saying it's not good. Maybe that's what it is. It's saying this can be better. We're going to take it apart. We're going to look at all its pieces and put it back together in a different way. I think 9 times out of 10, it's bad because, like I said, it's very hard to build things. If you take something apart and put it back together, it's kind of hard to put it back together in a better way than it was when you had it, because the way you had it probably worked really well, but it is kind of a part of society. So, that's kind of what it is. Yeah.